Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Today is Filemaker Day! Yay! So exciting. We are going to, I believe we were doing Tim's Register. It's been a week, I guess, since I have done this. So let's just get right into it. Now, we may have some pop-ups kind of move around and things moved around a little bit, but that's okay. We will get it all straightened out. We were working on the inventory page and we put some materials into the inventory page. And let's see if we can go all the way out to there. That is really takes on like a full page, doesn't it? Let's just make this a little bit smaller so it fits inside of where we're at here. Okay, there we go. We got her fixed. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see all of that. Hopefully this all works for you. So the first thing that we need to do is we should be on this page. And what we're going to do is we're going to just come down here and we're going to show our records so that we know what we're doing. Edit the layout. And then we want to manage our database. We're going to make some minor changes. And like I said, some of these little things are going to be scattered all over my computer. I have monitors like everywhere. So they're probably scattered out because I was working on another program earlier and I like to have those things like all over the place. So but they're back. Okay, so we are now in our inventory. So one thing that we want to do is I want to know how much my inventory is worth. So when I get to the system, I guess when I start putting in all my stuff and whatever, I need to know what is the value of the stuff that I have and how much did I pay for it. So what is the value that I paid, and what is the value, the retail value of the product that I currently have in my inventory. And that's a really easy thing to do. So what we're going to do is we will just do sum underscore, I don't know why, but let's just kind of go with it. So sum underscore, and then we will do sale price, and that one is going to be a summary where it will create it, and it is the total of our sale price. So we'll just double click it, press OK. Total of sale price. Now we'll have the summary, and you can just go back in there and just write price, and we'll create that one. And that is the summary of our price. Now, if we go back to our system, we'll say OK because we're good with that. We can go into our layouts. And my phone is going completely crazy. It thinks that I'm talking to it. So now if we go into our layouts and we do a part setup, we can do a footer or a sub-summary by category. So let's do a sub-summary by category. We will create it, move it over here. It'll be a sub-summary when sorted by, and I think we did category. We want to print that below it. And we're done. So here's our sub-summary now. Here is the body, and we know that the position, we are at 40. And this is at 40. So we should probably go ahead and put this in at 40. And if you just click off, it'll make it happen. So now if we go in, let's grab our field picker, and we're going to do our summary of the sale price. And we don't need any of that. We don't need a label. So we'll do a summary of our sale price, and we'll put it right underneath our sale price. And then we're going to do a summary of our price. And all I'm doing is I'm grabbing it, left clicking, holding on to it, dragging it into position, and we're done. So now if we exit the layout, we should see, of course it kind of messed it up here. Oh, you know what? Let's change that. Let's change this to, let's just grab them both. Put them in the center. Go into our inspector. Data. All the way down to the bottom. We need that to be currency. It's just going to make this so much easier for us. And then if we go down, fixed number of decimals, system settings is normal. We don't want to make any major changes to it. Now, if we exit the layout, we have $2 vested and $2.70 in the sale price. So its retail value is $2.70. Now you can add a label to this if you want to, like a leading label, so that it can just say like total, whatever. You can change the color of this too if you want to, so that this bottom line is a different color, which is just fine. All you got to do is go into edit layout, grab it, go into your inspector, and then it's going to ask for the appearance. So a slice, choose line, blah blah blah. What do you want this to be? You can do a gradient, and you can change this to a kind of an orangish color, whatever you want, that because it'll make a difference. What I'm doing is I'm actually clicking on this little box, and then that brings this up so that I can select a color. Just select whatever color that I want, and then if I click off, it automatically saves it. So it's pretty simple to do. So now if we exit the layout, the line will go all the way across. There's absolutely nothing you can do about making that, but I don't dislike it. I think it looks pretty good. Now I have had some questions from, let's see, there we go. So I have had some questions from some of my viewers. And one of the biggest questions that I had was, how do you, if you have a register, how do you have different people making sales to different people? So how do I make a sale? Let's say Johnny comes in and says, hey, I want a taco and a drink, and then I charge him, or I start to work on him, and then someone else comes up, and says, hey, I want blah blah blah, and how do I do that? How do I run multiple things all at one time? So how do I make that work? That's a pretty interesting deal, because the program isn't going to know that you're a different person, and it's not going to know that you want to add different things to a different register without creating an envelope in order for it to do that, or a different invoice. So it's not going to just automatically understand, oh wait, this is a different thing, and he wants or she wants to put this on a different invoice. So we know for sure that that's not something that we need to do. Or my brain just went wow right over the top of the. What that means is, if you're going to run separate registers, or you're going to run separate things, you actually need to recreate this program a couple of different times. And I'll show you how to do that later on. But what you have to do is, you can have the exact same inventory, so don't change the inventory. Don't do anything with that, because it's all one inventory. And the second thing is, but you will need to build an entirely separate menu box or menu page for a different individual, and they can just switch back and forth. Even on the same iPad, if you wanted to, you could switch back and forth by having one sign out and the other one go, or you can just have buttons at the top, 1 2 3 4 5, like up in this area. You can have like you know, a circle, 1 2 3 4, and you can just go through each one of those buttons if you wanted to. And all it's going to do is, if I had a button here and it said 1 on it, that would be this register, or this digital register. Everything would run inside of this. If I push the 2 button, it would take me immediately to, and it would be pretty simple. It would just be go to layout, menu 2, go to layout, menu 3, go to layout, menu 4. And then each one of those has their own scripting. So one of the things that you want to make sure that you do is you don't just copy and paste this stuff. You want a blank. Whenever we get to those points, we're going to build a template for our menu pages, and then we're not going to mess with that template. We're going to, we'll copy it and paste it, we'll recreate it, but the template itself we won't mess with. And the reason why we do that is because we don't want to marry everything together. It's in business, it's critical that we maintain complete independence of our inventory. Hey, One Rocketeer. I'm confused. Why was this recommended? This is the reason why this was probably recommended is because we do run a gaming stream as well, but and this was on the Timothy Hayes side. Well, we decided to bring it in to the other side so that we weren't actually crossing over, or so that we just to keep it more simple. So. But I'm glad that you were here. I'm glad you joined us. And if script writing doesn't trip your trigger, then hey, thanks for being here. We'll see you later. So here we are at the inventory. So we did get the sort records done, and we didn't do the main menu. Okay, I was streaming Titanfall 2, and that was probably nice. Hey, it was really nice to meet you too, One Rocketeer. Join us later. We will be streaming some games later, so just so you know. Mondays, 9 o'clock, that's when we do this. Okay, so the second question that a lot of people asked me was, why are we doing the inventory? Why did we start with the inventory? Why don't we just start at the top and work our way down? We are starting at the top. Inventory is the primary thing. You have to have your inventory done and in place, all of it, before you can put up menu pages, because you need to know the numbers. You need to know what number the bubblegum is, what number the jawbreaker is, and what number your drinks are. You have to have that information so that you can put those into your scripts. So the inventory, huge thing. Let's get the inventory done. Now, we did talk about creating an inventory admin. Super, super simple to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into Edit Layout. And we've made sure now, we know that our inventory page is perfect, right? It's exactly what we want, and we're not going to make any changes to it at this time. So what we're going to do is we need to go into Manage our layouts. And here we have the inventory one that we're on. It should automatically be lighted. It should already be highlighted. So if we click on that and then we tell it to duplicate it, now it's called inventory copy. So we can edit that, and instead of being inventory copy, we are going to call that inventory admin. And we will open it. Okay. So sort records. Ta-da, there it is. So, and it's exactly the same thing. Now, these buttons aren't going to work because we didn't get the button set up. But what we will do is, see, we're on inventory admin now, and if we just go to our standard inventory, it's exactly the same thing. If we go to this other inventory, which we can actually get rid of. Let's go to this inventory. edit layouts, manage layouts. This inventory is the one that we don't want to see. And we can actually create, we can just click off. We can just do new. Cancel. That's not what we want. We want a new folder. And this folder is just going to be called, what do they call them? When they give them to us, so it's, let's just call it unused. Layouts. Okay. So now here we have the unused layout. So now we can go to this inventory thing, grab this little deal, and we can, you know what, let's do this. Let's take the unused layouts and move it all the way to the top. Then we'll take this one and we'll move it to the top under it and slide it over. So now that inventory is underneath the unused. So if we negative this, it disappears. So we'll call that good. We'll exit the layout. Now if we go here, you won't see it. It'll just say Tim's and then the unused layouts. And if you unclick the thing, then you won't be able to see them when you just open this. So when you unclick the little box, then you're good to go. So now you have inventory admin. And what we're going to do is we need to edit this layout. We're going to double click on the deal and we'll put admin. And what that's going to do for us is it's going to give us, so now when we go inventory admin. So now we know which one is which. So now what we need to do is we need to go back to our inventory list. Let's go to inventory and we're going to go into our inspector. And what we want to do with the inspector is we want to grab all of these, because in our basic inventory or in our inventory for management, they don't need to make any changes to the inventory basis itself. So we're not going to want any changes done to the basis of information that we currently have. So we're going to go to data. And field entry in browse mode, no. Field entry in find mode, no. Of course, you can leave it on in find mode. That's fine, because I wouldn't normally be able to find it, but it's no big deal. So we'll just call that good. So no. And now we'll close it. Now, if we exit this layout, we can't make any changes to anything at all. So in this. And now what we can do is we can go into our, let's edit the layout. Let's double click this. And we're going to, you know, I told you that I was going to add some cool stuff to this. Some security for admin stuff. So let's do this. Let's do this really quick. Let's go and manage our database really quick. And we are going to do passcode INV. And it's just a text. Unless you want it to be a number. It can be anything that you want it to be. But a text includes numbers, so we're good to go. So we created it. Call it good. And now we'll go into our field picker. Come on, where'd you go? We got a field picker around here somewhere. Oh, ha! That's funny. I'm selecting the wrong one. Field picker. Okay, so passcode. We don't need anything on it. Let's just bring up our passcode right here. And we are going to make this either an 18 or 24 or whatever. I like 18, so we'll do 18. 18 just seems to fit better. And we're going to put it in the center. And let's see, fill. I'm looking for, what am I looking for, Tim? Appearance. Okay. So the fill is currently a gradient, and we don't need anything in there. We don't need anything at all. But we can leave the line. That's just fine too. Or you can leave things in there too. I mean, if you want it to be a gradient, leave it a gradient. And we can select this. Oop, I just erased that. Let's move it back over there. Make it yellow. Okay. So I'm going to move it over here above the admin. I want to make it the same size as the admin. And I'm just going to use my up keys to move it so that it goes up. Nice, easy, painless. If we go back to our inspector and we go into appearance, I believe, edit box, normal, nope, data, placeholder text, enter password. Okay. Here we go. So if we exit this layout, it'll say enter password. Pretty simple. And that's where you add a little bit of security. So let's go back into this edit layout, double click this admin button, and we're going to tell it to perform a script, and we're just going to create a new one. So we'll create a new script, and we will call it, here it is, way over here on the other side of the computer. So you should have this little tiny box show up like this. So we are going to call this inv admin code. We'll call that good. And then this little box, which was also way over there, we're just going to bring it over here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tell it, we're going to say if. And then we'll click this, click it again. Okay, so if passcode IMV is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, let's just use that as a really quick reference. Then we will say we need it to go to layout. And the layout, we'll go layout, inventory admin. And then we can have end if or halt script. So I would go here, type halt script. And then we can add, let's get rid of that. Let's do another if inventory passcode is not equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what do we want it to do? Well, then we want it to, we're going to want this to actually do something else. We're going to want it to create a comment field. So if we comment, where is it? Comment, nope. Oh, I know it is show custom dialog. That's what it is. I keep just going, what the heck? So we wanted to show custom dialog. And we will have it called error or unauthorized attempt. How's that? We want to scare people. We want to make them think, oh my gosh, something's going on. Use of this portal is for administration only. Do not attempt further. Admin has been notified of this attempt. And I don't like the cancel because the cancel is just dumb and it makes them feel like they can actually get away from it, but they can't. And then we will do another, I'm so used to just typing into this little box, so we'll just put a halt script and we'll put it there. Now you can actually send yourself an email. You can send yourself, if you get into this miscellaneous stuff, you can, where is it? Perform Apple script, show SQL comment. There is actually a, you could send mail, there it is. So you could actually send mail to yourself, to your phone or whatever, to let people, to let you know that someone's trying to get into your system or somebody's trying to get into that. And depending on which one it is, you know, like each page would be different. So you could actually set up each page so that it would be like, that it would send you a code saying that this particular, on this particular day, time, blah, 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 on this register, this is what happened. So you'd be like, oh, okay, I know what's going on now. And this gives you, the bad thing about this, and it's, Filemaker is not perfect by any means, but what this does is this gives you a couple, just a one layer of security. It's not that big of a deal, but Filemaker gives you the ability to do things, but it comes at a cost too. So like this, you will be able to put in numbers forever, but people don't know that we didn't put that into the script either. So they have no clue that we did not add that to the script. So we'll just be like, okay, I think that should do it. And we will say, okay. And we will close it, and we'll get off. So let's put in 1324, and we'll push the admin button. Unauthorized attempt. Use of this portal for administration only. Do not attempt further. Admin has been notified of this attempt. It does kind of scary, doesn't it? But notice it didn't remove the number. One, two, three, four. Administration. Took me right straight to the administration. But now, if we go back to that inventory page, that number is still there. So what do we need to do? Need to edit the layout, double click, Doesn't need to be available in browse mode. What is it doing? Apparently I have a little field just floating around out there. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't necessarily need to be found in find mode or whatever. Admin code. So we can either, there's two things we can do. It's pretty immediate though, but I would just go into here and I would just do set field, specify the target field, passcode, and specify the calculated results as quotation marks. And then we're just going to run that right there. We want to do it before it goes to another layout, so we want to make sure it gets it done right, like right off the bat. And then we can just do that again. Set field, passcode, calculated results, and that one we are going to put right underneath that. So all of that is good. Now if we hit the admin button or the administration button and we go back to the inventory, it's gone. Now if we enter 1456, no one knows what you've entered in here, so it's not, they don't have a clue. See how it erased it immediately, so you don't have anything. And that passcode can be anything you want it to be. It can be 111. It can be your birth date, your name. You put it in there, you know what it is, so you don't ever have to worry about what it is. And you can change it as often as you want to. You just have to remember that you get into that particular script and you make that change to that script. So now let's go to the administration page. And I did notice that I didn't change these to the button or the handover thingy, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't to me anyway. I could really care less about what that whole thing is all about. So I was just trying to fix my camera. My camera is like everywhere. Stuff everywhere. So just push buttons everywhere. But it doesn't reach that far, so I have to like go slower. Okay. How wonderful. So now we've gotten into our inventory admin. We've got that completely, I think we've got that completely finished, unless, of course, there's no one doing any chat, so we don't really know what exactly, or if we need to make any changes, or if someone wanted to add something else to it. But that's the premise of our inventory. And now we're going to go to the inventory input. This is where people would actually be putting inventory into the system. So like an item number, and you can search item numbers and it'll tell you what it is. And this is pretty interesting because, like I said, if you roll your little on your mouse, the little roller thing, it'll go through them. But we don't want to marry any of these things together. Of course, these are all married together, but so if you want to add add records, you just basically click this and it would add records, or do other things. So let's get right into I want to create a new layout. So let's do edit layout. Why do I have this? I'm going to close this. Manage layouts. I want to create a new one. And this is just a different way. I'm just showing you a different way. And it can be anything that you want it to be. But I'm going to do menu. And we're going to call this entry menu. We can do a touch device, like an iPad mini or custom device. And you can do a form, a list, a table, a report, but for us, we basically want a form view. And this will be the width, so it's 800 wide. You're going to want probably something like that. So it's going to be wider than tall, because you're going to want to put it into this particular system. Now, you don't have to do custom device. You can do your computer and do form view and just create it the size that you want it to be. And that's how I do it. I just create my system all on the computer. I do all the computer stuff, and then I adapt it to my tablets. So it is menu. And so we are here on our new entry menu page. And we'll show the lines. There should be lines. Oh. So we'll do, I don't want custom size. We'll do an iPad landscape size. So this tells us what size that we can actually, if we fit it within inside of this. This is actually going to tell us where our system needs to be in order to meet the page requirements of like an iPad. Okay, so that should do it. If anything, I'd rather you be just slightly out than too far in. We'll do our header. We're going to select our inspector and the position. You can make this as big as you want or not at all. It doesn't matter how big you want it. I am pretty big on 130. Of course, then it moves everything. Okay. And we obviously want to put some text in here. And you could put, let's just, entry menu. We click off, we go to 72, put this in the middle. Should give us a middle thingy here. Oop, it did, right. Move it, move it, move it. Hold down the button. Come on. Oh, that turkey, it doesn't want to give it to us. That's all right. We're going to put it, I'm going to put way over here because I just want to put it way over there. We'll create a couple of buttons. We're gonna have like a lot of buttons, so it doesn't really matter. Register 1. So if we grab it and we hold it and we click it, we now have 3 register 1 buttons. Dead smack in the middle. We can put in a security code so that people would, because if we make this one register 2, and register 3, and register 4, whatever it is that we decide that we want to do with that. If we want to go to different registers, then it's not a difficult thing to do. But we will want to put, let's grab a field picker here. What do we have in the current table menu? Nothing. So we're going to close that out, manage database. And in the menu, we want a date because we want to know what date it is. And you can either have a date or a timestamp. I just like date. Create it. And I think if you just auto enter on creation, auto enter on modification, that works. And then let's create a passcode box menu. You guys are probably like, wow, that guy types really loud. I'm sorry about that. It's just I have my mic like all the way down. I could probably have it like way up there too. It doesn't matter, but. And we just want this to be a text. Create. And now we want, we're just going to do a login box really quick. We're just going to create a login box. You don't have to have a login box. I'm just trying to preemptively think of anything that I might possibly need in a menu page, and there's not a lot that you need in a menu page, but there's probably some things that you need in a menu page. And let's call that good for now. So what I want to do is I want to grab a text here, put it here, just right out in the middle of the field. And then if we do a Control M, we're actually going to merge those fields, and we're just going to double click date. Click off of it. 18. And I actually like this to be New Times Roman styles. What am I looking for? Color. Yellow. I like it to be yellow. And you put this like in the corner here, and then justify it like all the way on that one side, so that if we exit the layout, where'd my date go? New record. It'll automatically pop up. So you don't have to do a new record all the time. It'll just update itself every time you enter, and or because we didn't do it on record creation, we did it on modification. So if it modifies it at all, if you push a button, it's a modification. It will automatically change the date and keep it there. You can also have a timestamp too. If you wanted to just have like the whole thing, the date and the time and all that stuff, you could put that up there too, and it'll keep track of all of that. So where was I at? Edit layout. Field picker. So a passcode menu or passcode box, we don't want a label to it. We don't want anything into it. We're going to put it up here on the top. Make it an 18. I'm going to shrink her down. And make it dead in the center. We're going to center it too. The passcode box, what that does for us is if we put, and it's exactly the same thing we just did a little while ago with the admin section of the inventory. So if we put like a button down here, which we will do, let's put some smaller buttons down, and we'll put admin admin entry. And then we'll click on it, click on it. And you know me, we will obviously be changing these too, so. And we can change the size to make it, you know, I mean, I will obviously make mine look a lot better here in a little bit too. But what we want to do with these is we want to admin will go straight to an admin page. This one we're going to change the name of it. Come on. And we'll call this the back office. And right now we don't want it to do anything. And this one we can have, it can go to the invoice, it can go to any other place that you want it to go. I like to just make sure that you have the button there, so. For now, we're just going to use this one unused. Or not. Let's do this. Not used. Come on. I think I drank too much coffee this morning. Not used. Okay. So the register one, all this will do is just take you to another menu page. Pretty simple. Register to, that will take you to another menu page that we built on top of all of that. So now what we need to do is we need to, because we didn't do anything yet, we can actually start to recreate all of these things. Layout. New layout. And we want to show records from the menu. And this one we will call menu 1. Computer, form view, finish. That would be the exact same size, although we will need to make some changes to it. And try to get this one just right, because what's going to happen on this one is we're going to be, this is going to be our template model. So everything we do will be based on this template model. And if you guys will just give me 1 second, I will be right back. I need to fill up my coffee cup. And I'm back. So that wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad, not even at all. Now I will restream this, or I will do this on the Timothy Haight account, and I'll probably delete it from the Lookulin account. So I think we'll just go back to Timothy Haight. It's just going to work better. So what we want is we want to start off by doing some buttons. We don't need, well actually, let's do this. Let's grab our picker tool first. Let's go to our header. We don't need a big header. So it doesn't need to be that big. The only reason why we need the header is so that it lets us know which page we're on. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do let's do 65 and see what happens. See if that's big enough. Not quite what I want. Let's do 80. That's better. I think I could live with that. Turkey butt. Control Z, Control Z. We want to make this just right. Okay. Remember what I said, make this one just right so that everything else that you do goes after. And we will go here. And all I'm going to do is type in page name. Page name. Delete, delete, delete. Text. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Page name. And I want this to probably be 24. Let's make it a little bit bigger. 48. Is that going to fit? Kind of fits. We'll put it over there. Grab the text. We're going to Control M because we want it to be the date. The date will follow us everywhere that we go. Oop. I'm going to click off of it first. So date. We'll run it at 18. I don't care that this is. I don't care if it's like a darker color because it's very muted. The biggest thing that I want on this particular unit is the pages. I want to know what page it is, and I want to see all the buttons because this is going to have a lot of buttons on it. And now I want to add a new field. And I want that field to be what am I looking for? Numblock. And it can be a text or a number. Either one is just fine. And I don't need a label. I'm going to put it above the date all the way to the outside. And the appearance, I want it to have no fill, no outline, but I want to be able to see it. So I'm going to select an orange color. I'm going to select a 14 because it doesn't need to be that big. I'm going to put it all the way to the other side. Now if we go to, if we exit the layout, we don't see anything there. And that's what we want. We don't want to, if there's nothing there, we don't want to see anything there. Exit the layout. And what this numblock is for is invoices are super critical. And I've used Filemaker 14, or I've used Filemaker for quite a few years, and I can tell you right now that the program likes to get confused. It's great if you have a very tiny business and you're just doing a few things here and there, blah blah blah, and you just want to kind of keep track of a few things, and you're gold there. Or if you're a giant company and you've got people, my chair, I'm gonna put this up here where I'm more comfortable, and you have a data entry and you're keeping track of all the stuff, and you've got someone that set it up and they didn't marry everything, and all of your data is safe and secure, and you're exporting and importing, and that's a whole different ball game. But for a small business owner, for someone who's actually relying on this information to go to the bank, get loans, to make sure that you have the appropriate inventory, that you keep your store stocked, that what's going on from day to day. That Teresa sold $500 just yesterday, and she's on a commission basis, and we need to know how much Teresa sells every single day. In order to do that, what Numlock does for me is when we build the invoice, it will take the invoice number and it will follow that individual through all of the different pages, and then it'll make sure that when you push a button, that it puts that item on the invoice that you want it to put it on, and not a different invoice. Okay. If there was any questions on that, or you're confused even at all, just let me know and we will go through it again. So now we need some buttons. Buttons need to be of a relative size so that you can type things in there. So that you can type in ice cream like ice cream. That's fine. Let's do ice cream. And obviously we don't want to do anything, but we do want it to be 18 because we've got to be able to read this stuff. That's a kind of a big deal. We've got to be able to read it. Now, do you want to know how much that is? Do you want to know anything else about it? So we need to figure out what else we need to know about these things. Shape tool. Field control tool. Edit box. That's not what I need. What do I need? What is it I'm looking for? Portal tool. No, I don't want the portal tool. Slide control. Although slide control is kind of cool. I need just text. That's what I need. So in this text, I'm going to write $$50. I'm going to click off of it. Make it bigger. Come on. Put it in the center. I want it to be 18. So now what I can do is, as you can tell, I can't fit it on here because it doesn't fit, right? Well, it does. And we can lock these two things together. So in this particular sense, what we're going to do is we're going to decrease this, and we're going to increase this. And so now we're playing with the padding on it. And you can do zeros. I'm big at just doing zeros on my padding on my left and right because I like to go all the way out to the outside edge. Okay, so now it says ice cream $1.50. You can change this text, decrease that to like Arial black, whatever, so that it better fits what you want it to do. And you can make your button better fit. There is kind of a minimum that you have to have. Okay. It'd be nice if you could just zoom in like crazy and get it exact. Okay. And now my button, I want this fill to be a gradient. What am I doing? Control Z. I want this to be a gradient. I'm a big yellow fan. So now it just shows up like that. And we're at 200%, so we'll go back down to 100%. And you can also add like a small descriptor on top of that too if you wanted to. So it doesn't have to be exactly the same. And you can make your buttons bigger. It just depends on how many buttons you want to actually put on a page. If you want to put 1,000 buttons on a page, let's put 1,000 buttons on a page. But you're probably going to have an issue putting 1,000 buttons on a page. So let's do this. Let's grab this. We're going to control. We're just going to put a bunch of them together. Because remember, this is our template. We're going to recreate this a lot. We have 6. We have 7. Okay. So now we can grab them all. Put them dead in the center, just like that. Now we could grab them all and just replicate them. So now if we hold the control button, we can just come straight down. And we have it. Hold the control button again. And we have it. Hold the control button again. And now you have 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you now have 50 items on a page, basically 49 items on a page. And if you can't tell, they all seem to be off center for some weird reason. So let's look down the little edge, make sure that we got them all in the right spot. Sometimes when you release them, it messes up. It's like, what are you doing? I've just released it. There we go. That should be correct. If you wanted to resize like the whole thing, you could grab you could come up here and you could grab all of them and you can resize them. So if you want to put them dead center of the whole page, you can do that. Or if you want to just grab this little handle at the edge and you just want to make it really small, like make the buttons really tiny so you actually have to have like a little itty bitty finger to do it or something, you could do that, whatever. But this button, and this button, and probably this button are all going to be different. So this button we will call exit. Hey, apparently I am on caps lock. We will call exit. And this we don't need, so we're just going to get rid of it. This button we are going to call menu. And we will delete that, and delete that, and delete that. This button we can call invoice. And that button you can leave it ice cream if you want to. Just kidding. You don't really want to leave it. No, let's not make it ice cream. Not that one. That would be like bad. We are going to name that button something different. What should we name it? Let's see, mine is invoice, main menu, come on. Directory. Okay. And my directory is kind of just a weird directory, so we grabbed them all. So we want to bring that bad boy down to 3, and we want to add that one to 3. Should put them dead in the center. We want them to be bold because we like bold. And we want them to be different colors. That's the kind of the interesting thing. So because we don't want them to be all the same function of that particular, so I like to just start in one place. So you can either go like, let's do this one. Do this one. Do this one. They're making them darker, but they don't look any different, do they? No, they don't. So the exit button, we will make it red because red is great. Kind of a light colored red. Menu button, we will make blue. I like blue. Invoice can stay purple. The directory, we will make it green. Now these are all different colored buttons, so now we know that they're all different colored things, that we want them to go in a different place. And all of these are obviously ice cream, but we don't want them all to be ice cream, so the best thing to do would be to, because this is a template, just get rid of the ice cream part and the dollar part. Now you could if you had the desire to do so, at the beginning of what we were doing, you could just create the empty boxes like I just did, and then just delete these boxes and just recreate the box. So I could take all of these boxes and delete it. Could click on this box, although this box doesn't have the monetary thing in it, does it? Nope. So control straight down, control straight down. I myself am a huge fan of, I don't care if it takes me all day to create a page. I would much rather erase all of these than I would anything, than I would just create a gigantic blank. Because I like it to be perfect. I like my page to be perfect. So here I can, come on, I can just press 0. Zero. This way I can just type all of that information in when I want to. You don't have to use all of these buttons. If you don't want your buttons to be quite as creative as this, that's fine. I know some of you are probably saying, well, I have a lot more products than just 49 products. I have hundreds of products or thousands of products. And what am I going to do with my hundreds or thousands of products? Well, that's the point. This particular page is going to send you to other pages. So you can go to other pages, or you can have pop-outs on these pages, and you can have 10 products. So if I wanted to, I could take this one and create a pop-out, which is pretty simple. You just grab this and you do a pop-over button, and you just recreate this button, and then get rid of the original button, which we will do on other pages too. But what that does is it gives you more space. So if you need, let's say you have a category, and your category is candy, and like this one, you wanted to go to an exact page because you have 10 different pages of candy, because you have candy bars, you have suckers, you have gum, you have candy widgets and candy frogs and whatever. So you have all these different pages of different styles of candy. You could literally take a popover. Let me see, did I pick a popover? Pick a popover. And you create it exactly the same size. And now all of a sudden you have a popover. So your popover can be, drinks. If you name it whatever you want to. Drinks. So now it says drinks, and then it's drinks, and then what you do is you just grab one of these. Let's fix this. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So now you just grab one of these and you put it where you want. And I'm just holding down the control button while I'm moving these around. What? Okay. So now if I grab all three of them, put them dead in the center, Control. it's also going to try and marry them to what is below you too, just so you know. Oop, past it, there we go. We'll just put it together like that. So now I've got 3 times 5. There's 15 buttons inside this one popover. And each one of those can have a script in it. And if I close it and move my popover somewhere, there's the old popover, or the old button. So we just need to get rid of it, put the new popover in its place. And personally, I like to have all my popovers right in the very beginning. And this popover, you can duplicate the popover all that you want to. So okay. So now I can take and let me delete this one. Delete. Let me delete a couple of them here. And so here's my popover, and I'm just going to drag it. I'm holding the control button, drag and drop, hold the control button. Come on, I want it to be just right. Drag and drop, hold the control button, drag and drop. So now you have all of these, and you can make them, you can change the colors of them if you want to, into something that's more suitable to what your business needs are. I like to make my buttons colorful. Drinks. That way we know what we're doing. I don't want that color. Let's take a green, red, da 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 da. There, I can have that color. So now if I were to exit my layout and I were to click on this drinks button, bam, or click on this drinks button, bam. So it will, and I can fill these with products, any product that I absolutely want to have, or I can categorize and subcategorize. So if I wanted this one to be, you know, in my business, I do a lot of different things. So I could have this one as glass, and then different styles of glass, and you can buy it right from this particular page if you wanted to. So I could have this one, the top selling items. I can be like, what are my top 15 selling items? What do I sell the most of every single day? What does everybody want? Quick sale stuff, you know, fidget spinners or whatever the case might be. I could put fidget spinners on that page and sell, sell, sell. I can put, someone just comes in and wants a Pepsi or Coca-Cola, whatever the case is. I mean, I don't mean to, like, you know, give a shout out to them, but whichever soda drink that you prefer. You could have that one as soda drinks. You could have this one as, you know, whatever you want to. And your quicker sale items would probably be your absolute better sale items. But remember, this one is a template. So what we want to do with this particular thing is, let's get all of these buttons. Let's fix all of this stuff. Seems to be questioning my desire. It's like, Tim, this is not what you normally do. You normally don't do it like that. What's going on? Which is true. I don't. For purpose and haste, we were just gonna quick do this. So I'm not boring you guys to absolute death. And if you wanted to, not that you would, but if you want to, you could take an item and you could fill it with an image. So if I had an image of something, let's see, downloads. There's got to be a picture somewhere. Pictures. Let's go back one. Let's not look in downloads. Let's look in. Oop, wrong one. Okay, so if I wanted to use a picture of something, a little ninja dude, whatever, I could put him in there. I could tile him. I could make it fit. Scale to fill. And there he is. He's in my unit. Now you have to remember that if you're adding pictures, that pictures are of a certain size, and the more size that you add to your program. So if you're just very small and you are a restaurant, by all means, take a picture of your food, make it into a JPEG or some file extension that will work. JPEG is just fine. But you know, it doesn't have to be a 12 megapixel type thing. Just take a picture of it. Don't use a lot of data, and you could put your pictures on here with a monetary amount. So it'd be like you see a hamburger on there with $3 or $8 or whatever your hamburgers are worth, and people would just push that button and be like hamburger or French fries or whatever. You take pictures, put them on there. It works really, really well. Other things that you can do is there are these portals that you can put in there. It was part of the database. So if you manage your database, and it's not a text, it's called a container. So if you put a container in, a container field in, you could actually play, you could put an entire movie inside of container field, because it will contain files, like a whole file or a bunch of different files. For our purposes and for what we're actually doing, the fact is you probably will never need a container file, so there's probably no reason to have one in a basic menu deal. So this one we are not going to go, obviously, with our little ninja dude. We went with our gradient. And I think I got that the right color. So I think we're good. We don't want to add anything to any of this. I don't want to add anything to any of these. So I don't want to, if you want to change the name of this, fine, change the name of it. Change it to category. Category. Call it good. Click off. Or leave it drinks. It doesn't matter. Change this to an 18. Make it bold. Change this to an 18. Make it bold. And you can select them all. If you want to just do these two. 18. Make them bold. And you can change the fonts too. And I think we've already been through all of that. So now we have the basis for what we're trying to accomplish. And this is going to be register one thing. So let's go into, we're going to manage our layouts. If you're satisfied with this layout, if this is what you want and you are finished with it, you don't want to add anything else. You can put a logo. If you have a PNG, you can put a logo right here in the top. If you have anything else, you can add to this. Add it now. Get everything set, because this page is a huge thing. This is a menu page that's you're going to build many things on. And for me, this is actually a category and a menu page. So what happens is, in the beginning, instead of these having any monetary amounts, these are all going to be blanks, and they're going to be categories. So like on this one, when I'm pointing at with my mouse, it'll say adapters, and then batteries, and it'll all be alphabetical. And it'll go through this list of all these things. And then what that will do is, instead of charging someone for something, it will take me to another page that will be identical to this page because it's a template page. And then all of my products will be listed on that page. So this is going to be my category page. These are going to be my quick sellers. So my quick seller by category. So if it's a drink quick seller, I will have it up there. If it is a glass quick seller, I will have it up there, or an adapter or a battery quick seller, I will have it up there, so that I can instantly, and I sell a lot of products. I have over 900 different products that I sell in my stores. And so those products are all categorized and listed. But we do have a lot that we sell, like fidget spinners. Fidget spinners are, and I got like 10 different kinds of fidget spinners. Those work perfect right here in the top spot. Just be like fidgets, bam, there it is, sell it. It'll go directly onto an invoice. We have our number lock, so everything will work. So for me, this page is just right. I don't really need anything different. I mean, I could change the colors of these a little bit, I guess, if I really wanted to. But I don't. In this particular case, I'm a pretty simplified individual. I just want it to be simple and basic and easy to use. I have in past put circle badges on my things. So there's like a circle inside of here, because you can go into here, show how to do it, and just do an oval. You can create an oval like that, and you can put it dead in the center, and we can just delete what that says, because it doesn't flippin' matter what it says, right? And the oval we can make into any color that we want to. White is just fine. So now what I need to do is I need to click off of it. Click a text. I'm just going to create this text down here in the bottom. And I'm going to type exit, delete, because apparently that text isn't working. Apparently that text doesn't exist. Exit. Okay. And I want it to be, let's say 20. Oh, I forgot. You have to click off of it. Remember, you have to click off of it. So we're going to go 24, bold, and I want just a deep red color. I'm going to put it right dead in the center, and I'm going to go all the way to the outside edge. I'm going to pull it all the way over to the other edge, and then I'm going to put it dead in the center. That's the easiest way to make sure that it's dead in the center every single time. Now I can select my little circle, and I can choose the line color. So the color of the line, I want it to be red. Now it's beautiful. And I can also select, like this one says 1, I can select 2 to make it thicker, prettier, whatever I want. So it changes it. And that's how I did my other ones, is I actually had badges with like different artwork. You could put different artwork in there, you know, if you want like a stop sign, that really, you know, you can download a picture of a stop sign and put a stop sign behind it. We can actually show you how to do that really quick. So let's do that. Let's go. I know you guys probably won't be able to see it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to I just went to picture stop sign, and as you can see, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different pictures of stop signs, and you can pick whatever stop sign, trips your trigger. You know, just make sure that it's not for public display, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. I mean, on your system, so you could pick whatever stop sign you really want, and I don't think that anyone would give you any heartache about it. But so let me see. Here is a great stop sign. You don't have to do you don't have to, like, you can just download the little box. You don't have to open it up, because it's such a tiny little thing anyway. So we have to click it here. Now we will marry those units together here in just a minute. So we're going to go into images. It should be in here. Stop signs. There it is, and we will scale to fit or scale to fill. Ta-da! And we can take our box, and we can make a solid line. I'm not really big on that particular color, but so there you go. Now you have this beautiful exit button that has stop signs in the back. It says, no, don't go there, don't go there. And you can do the same thing with your menu button, and you can do the same thing with your invoice button. And that's your homework, is get this page just right. Get it exactly the way that you want it, because you're going to repeat it like a bazillion times. And now we're going to go, and this is the final step in this. We're going to manage our layouts. And this one, we called it menu 1. And so what we'll do is I want to edit it, because I don't want it to be menu 1. I want it to be menu 1. You know what? Let's just do that. Template. And so now, every time that we need a page, we will never touch the template page. Never touch the template page. It will always stay exactly the same. But we can take this page and we can duplicate it, edit, and we can name it menu 1. And what that does for us is that gives us the ability to duplicate that page any single time that we need to. So either register 1 or register 2 or register 3 or register 5, or how many registers you have or how many other people you're going to put into this system, you can create a register for every single one of those just using that template. So you're good to go. So if you're just running a basic service and these category buttons work just fine for you, and you can just do, you know, fill this all up. Hell, I mean, heck, you just might need just this one page. You might not need anything farther than this. But let me know in the comments. Get back with me. Let me know what's going on. If you have any questions, I will answer them. Like I just did answer them earlier in the show. I talked about having a lot of different registers or different registers for different people, and that's fine. And we did do some admin stuff. Well, we are on our very next one, we're going to be doing the invoice page, and that's a complicated deal. So there's a lot involved in the invoicing page, and then we also have some record keeping stuff too that we have to do right alongside of that. So next week, that's what we're going to be looking at, is invoices. Until then, thanks for watching, guys. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I am going to repost this on Timothy. So hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys later. Have a good day.